Okay, so we're going to do a little playback rehearsal on the 1 hour chart. I'm going to use this robot that is a random bot. It just keeps dropping scripts every 15 minutes that last for an hour, trying to capture a plunge of 10 to 25 pips with a 30 pip stop. I don't know if it's a hard stop. It could be. It could be anything because these are all handwritten scripts. These are not drop on screen. This is a predetermined depth, and it's on the buy side only. I think the robot needs to be used in a situation where you know, or you have a good feeling that if you're going to counter trend trade, you're in a downtrend. Let's just assume that you have a bias and you think the market's dropping. If you launch this robot that's dropping every 15 minutes religiously, I mean, without even a Bible, and you've got a constant stack of 1 hour stack of these things trolling, you'd have to say, well, the market needs to be in a 10 to 25 pip range and kind of doing a thing like that. Otherwise, you're going to have to go for the robot that's going to trade from 20 to 40 pips with a 60 pip stop, or you put the psycho bot, bad ratio bot in that makes money if it doesn't blow up the account, makes a pant load of money, and it is the way to go, right? This is the martingale bot, right? So the high risk bot, hopefully it's in the nano sector of sizing, so you can run $200, $300, $400. You can actually martingale into it using the fade, accumulation fade into it, where you're so small you don't even notice. So imagine if you put buy limits on Bitcoin when it was at 80,000, and you said, I kind of want to break out my Fibonacci tool on this one. What's the 618 of all right, with the 618 pullback, or probably the 72.5 pullback? I mean, we're definitely 82% pullback. Yes, I think that's a deep fib. They call that deep fib. So the dream of buying the perfect pullback or the optimal trade entry is certainly still the dream, forever the dream. You know, a drummer that doesn't, that's normal people doing talented stuff just doesn't happen. So the market is kind of nuts, you know. I think I just blew up this robot. Yep, sorry guys. There's a failed. It's a Zen moment. Waiting for update. Destroy my life. Waiting for update. Oh, is the market open? Oh, that's right. Shit. I still got a position on. Oh god, no. And of course, if you're in these markets, you're psychologically in. You know, you're in for it. You're up for it. Maybe I'm on the wrong. Try a 15-minute chart. No, something's wrong. I guess the bot must not be compiled properly. Let's just go to another. Let's go for the 12-hour expiration tickets. Now, this is a whole different approach to trading here, is to put in orders that every 2 hours are dropping at least 24K, 24 singles. This robot will make a tremendous amount of money, and he will also lose a tremendous amount of money. Well, I mean, if the ratios are good, right? When he wins, he really hits it out of the park. You know, this is the guy you bring in a certain circumstance. The ball happened to land in this one sector for him, and that's going to be. Maybe I should do every tick to slow it down so we can see every tick. Because we're really not worried about the results here. We know that this robot will blow itself up at some point. It's just, that's just how life is. Uh-oh, still won't do it. Okay, I got it running here. Now, look at the performance of this robot right out of the gate. Because it's buying 24K, it's dropping them every 2 hours, and they last for 12 hours. This is a very unique curve, pre-fitted curve. I'm expecting the market to, and right here I'd be dumping the whole thing. We're all the way back to the floor again. So take a look at the the market structure here. And so if this big run here, this can't last. The sellers are coming in already. So I'd be dumping the whole thing where I don't know if the robot is dumping the whole thing right now. So if it's robot assisted trading, the robot's going to get you into these trades. You suspect there's going to be a raid down here. So you would, every 2 hours, this is the 15-minute chart. And this is a random bot that's just choosing a depth to trade. He's coming in. I can't, I'd have to stop the robot and look at the code, but I'd say he's coming in at least 20 to 90. I try to make the depth written into the title so that you can see which robot. But anyways, I would definitely be dumping here because it's structurally obvious that this is a previous support on the 15. I mean, everybody knows this shit, right? Now, the size of that trade, hell, these are all 1Ks, so he's still long on something, and these are more buy limits, and he just now you got to turn off that robot, right? Once the scenario's played out, that's a problem with like effect pedals and stuff. There's no effect that is good all the time. Use a phaser here, use a flanger here, you got a chorus here. They're all fucking with the pitch. You got an eventide replica. You've got a AMS, whatever the fuck, you know, some boutique handmade shit with a goddamn real spring in there. On and on, God knows what, right? So there's that. And but obviously here, if I'm going to mentally rehearse trading, that's what this video is really about. But just because I had the idea that wouldn't it be cool if I could just have a robot launch all these trade plans that I would normally do myself. And it is martingaling in the sense that if every 2 hours it's dropping 12-hour expirations, that means after 12 hours of running this thing, they've stacked up. Okay, your risk is stacked up, but the beauty of this robot is that it's a very religious robot. Every 2 hours it's dropping scripts, so the contour of the scripts that is left behind is a mimic of it's like channel trading or envelope trading. It's if you run an envelope. If you could religiously drop your tickets at the edge of the envelope, see, the other idea is to take, and so I haven't connected this, you know, because it's not worth it in a sense because like, so here I would be running sell limits in front of the market. I would turn my sell bot right now. So I can see what I would want to do. The robot is going to carry out this task for me. I still have to pick, well, what scenario we're going to go with, you know? Look at all these people cashing out. There's a big turning point here possibly, and this is a big gust up. And what are you up for? I don't even know. I don't have the time separators turned on in this template, so I'm guessing what time it is. But it's some kind of scramble short squeeze. And we're also inside of this seller's window. So a lot of people short, a lot of smart money, so to speak, short there. And then top tick Tommies, I can start to mark those off. The top of this fractal, so any kind of little finger sticking out, any little peak, all peaks matter. It really is the key, is simplicity. You don't really want to overdo this thing because it's just not, it's not going to help to, I hate Magenta. It just doesn't help to try to think that there's a one level answer. So there's sellers here that are just as valid as the sellers that sold this spike here. Now they're up in this trade. They're underwater. Okay, if you precisely put a sell limit here, you are now underwater. So you want to look for the worst trades. I don't even know if this thing got out anything, so it didn't trade. Let's go full screen retard. Make this appropriately sized for the situation. Okay, so really about rehearsing. Now, this is a 15-minute chart. If you walked into this chart, could you trade it? I mean, this is the ultimate trader's test. If you stepped into somebody invited you over, this must be at least U.S. markets have opened, I'm thinking here. I don't even know. Or they're closing. Who cares, right? Now, if you put importance on that, you don't really have to. I mean, you kind of know there's going to be crazy drama down here, so why would you just throw in orders? This is the whole point of this, is to look over the shoulder of the robot and play it back here while you analyze it. So it's a dual purpose video, part of my random mentorship program. So there's also this little fractal we're coming up on right now. This little notch here, if you can see it. I would start selling above that. And we're just waiting. This is a good old bar chart. So you don't have to worry about if it's a doji and all that stuff. It's very distracting. On the 15, it's ridiculous. Okay, looks like the sellers are coming in there, and we got another rack that starts precisely here. So if you lay in progressive racks, this is your next giant. There's not one fractal until you get up to this one here. This is a big turning point. So you can go up here, and the fractal is just nothing more than a turnaround. For me, I'm not going to count a Williams fractal. To me, is kind of ridiculous, because if you could tighten the Williams fractal up so it did a turnaround every 3 bars instead of 5 bars, then I would say that's probably appropriate for my brain purposes. Like, I don't care about, like, I'm not waiting 5 bars. I got time for this. I'm the 911 operator. I got time for this. Coming back down into this buy zone now. The sellers are going to start cashing out all the way down to that, I'm sure. So and so if your scripts last for the last robot wouldn't run, I messed something up. But if you're going to buy in the 15 bot, this is 2 hour script about here. It's 2 hour expiration. So you lay in a rack and you try a robot at this point that's going to buy this whole column. He may get into 150K here, starting off with a 1K and allowing the compression, the absorption to be random here by this whole column. Maybe the news is going to come out again. So speed up the robot, take ourselves through this. The beauty of rehearsing like this is that we can just scan for setups. Watch the robot get crushed. Watch it make money. If the stop is wide enough, the account is small enough, and at 24K, really stacking up about risk of 150K of possible fill. If everything goes nuts, and if it keeps going nuts against you, this robot will literally lose more money than any you could ever imagine. So, and if it was reversed where it was going to go with it, it would make more money than you ever imagined, but then it would blow itself up pretty. I would say the robots that are built on stop entry are just going to get trashed because well, I guess if the criteria is very limited, right? Well, they're waiting for a delta, you're waiting for a doji, a breakout bot would work. They will work in that situation, but when the market, and they also work in the trending situation like a turtle trader. So as the market is going into the vacuum, into the abyss, and it trips over the line and it's pulled into it at a very fast rate, it's a straightaway. It's a complete fast lane. Very rare that there's nobody on the road. So when everybody was staying off stopped, driving around. The people that did drive around drove very fast. It was a very rare moment. So fast market has to be a complete straightaway, but most of the market is like the city. You stop, you turn, there's nothing going on, and then there's a high drama moment. Everybody leaves town at a very high rate of speed. That's really what's going on in a vertical sense of price. Vertical price, that high prices are actually high on the chart, low prices are low on the chart. So the vertical kind of orientation. And for me, the right side of the chart is the leading edge. So I always run my small time frames on the right because that's how I just look at it at the leading edge. Some people run it the other way, which is, to me, when I see that, I wouldn't be able to trade it. I just think it's like when you get in the car, where's the cup holder? God damn it! Is it on the right or the left? It's not on the left. So if you're left-handed, you're kind of fucked, I guess. To get like a clamp-on thing. So yeah, clamp on, clamp on. So let me speed this up to max speed, and I'm gonna let the robot just take, hopefully, that column. But I think there's a sell coming in here. If we put the sell bot on, so we just put another rack down. These last for 12 hours. So it's pretty dead. It's a pretty dead market. This whole day, this 15-minute chart, nothing's going on. Nothing's going on. It looks like the abyss is to the north now. I'm gonna crack hard north. Somewhere in time, 2017, all the way to present day. That's the problem. I didn't set it to present day, so I kind of couldn't find the data. Forgot about that. I always forget what goes wrong with this shit. But so a high-speed train. Oh, looks coming back into my buy limits. Look at the sellers are right. So the sellers are making money finally on that one. Let's take a zoom in there, see how they're doing. Come here, you. You blowing up my account again, son. I told you not to take those risky trades. So if you sold this window up here and you did not get out at this double, here's a double top, become a double bottom on the 15. It's kind of subtle, but if you're around to pull the trigger on this one, I don't know if people really are. So people say, well, I back tested it, and the other problem you're going to have here is that the market does not discriminate. I mean, it's not linear in price fluctuations. So here's the straightaway I was talking about. So here's the high-speed lane, which is very, very rarely do you have the chance. Maybe at 3 o'clock in the morning, you can drive really fast and nobody's going to notice and pull you over and make your life a living hell. But you don't know that. So, you don't know that, son. Why are you getting all... It's possible. So the straightaway would be down. This is one straightaway here, and this is another straightaway. These are the runs. This is a run into the abyss. So when you take out the floor, the scalpers do a dead cat bounce. If you're on the 15. So the 15-minute bot, the dream for the 15-minute bot is he can make money during this stuff. Could you imagine that? So that is the dream of the bot. And the breakout bot, here's a beautiful setup. You got the time to sit there, or the sell stop bot keeps ratcheting up. Buy stops. Here's when the ratios need to be 8-to-1. So coming out of this, the only problem is if you let that robot that has a hard stop, but not a percentage stop, that'd be a very complicated bot in my opinion. But I'm writing static one-trick pony bots. I'm thinking in terms of, could you have a robot that just only pays attention to the breakout of 5 15-minute bars or 3 15-minute bars, so 45-minute breakout bots, so to speak, if you could imagine that. It would get its head handed to it because the swing bot is what this really is here, where you're dropping these that last for 12 hours, but every 2 hours you're dropping a stack and you're building up this giant. Like, I didn't even know if you'd run out of tickets on your broker. I'd have to do the math on this, but this is 24K at 24 times 10. So you're 240K at least possible, Phil. But, hey, listen, if it does come down here, which it just did dip into here. So the 15-minute scalpers that are going to buy the ricochet underneath, once you satisfy this vacuum, but the market doesn't seem to be able to push down any further right now in this playback mode. So this is foresight trading. See, people talk about hindsight. Your system should run into the future just fine. If your stuff really works, you should be able to describe it right now into the future and recite. So I'm reciting the scripts with a robot. He's doing a fair job. It's not bad. He could do worse. Okay, so let's start over. At this moment, I'd be out of my 15-minute bot would have made money. The other thing is that I'm not able to test all the robots simultaneously. You just have to do that with real money and accept the scenario that you're looking for. In this case, it's always going to be a retracement. That's why it says retrace ice. And based on, these are just icebergs down here waiting to get smashed. And this is the little boat, and I'm trying to kill this boat, I guess. Whatever metaphor you need so that it makes it okay to trade it. We certainly don't want anybody traumatized by trading and end up in the fetal position with no money left, and their wife says, I thought you said this robot, when you back tested it, that it was going to run perfectly and we were going to have a nice house to live in and I could turn the heat on because it's freezing in here. So let's fast forward, see if that could be here. So here I'll be cashing out and we could be over. We could be going after this abyss now. So I'd put on a couple trolling shallow bots, deep bots. So you got to think shallow and deep. You got to think time. And so the price is shallow and deep. So time, they say time and price, yes. So on the expirations, on the limits, it's got to be that you choose the expiration here. That is the time auction ticking away. You got 4 hours to grab it at this price or it's going to disappear automatically, right? And should we get some kind of drama like the news comes out, people will lose their mind. And if you're just the guy that scalps here back to so-called fair value or back to this box, and this trade's coming up, just by looking at the chart, you could press a button and start this bot. You got this bot on a hotkey, and you can just write the name on the hotkey and put the name on the hotkey and stick it on your keyboard. Right. You probably get a touch screen to talk to your computer, or just get a fucking touch screen. Get a 12-inch, get a 14-inch touch screen, and write the scenario on the script on the hotkey. You got 72 hotkeys available, so you have like maybe 36 buys and 36 sells. But I gotta have a take all profits key. You gotta clear the table, and so when you're in the casino and you're up, you just gotta bail. When you're up like that, you gotta bail. In other words, if you weren't counting on making that, you gotta get out because either your system is having a rare moment. Well, I mean, if in 8 hours you made more than you typically make, then you kind of have to get out because that means there's too much volatility and could come slamming back the other way. If you have no money management robot running behind you, it's better to take whatever the market's giving in a 4 to 8 hour or 12-hour scenario because you can always re-rack. So you can clear them all, turn the robots back on. So the better choice is to re-rack. And that's the robot could come by every 8 hours and just take all profits off the table. Don't forget about that robot. would make a huge difference, and I don't know how to build that into this current robot. I don't think you can run two MetaTrader bots at once, but obviously, if at the end of the day you had a robot that all it did was close all open and pendings, sure, it might take you out of a winning trade, but let's face it, when you go into the Asian session, you're locking up margin for about 4 hours or 6 hours till U.S. markets open, and really for 8 hours till U.S. markets open, then we go out of our minds again. Markets lose their mind. Also, I think this is the answer for the lottery, is to buy random numbered tickets. Don't pick your birthday, please, people. Stop. Listen, don't wear a mask and do not pick your fucking birthday as your lottery number, for God's sakes. Now we're going to know your fucking whole history of betting. I'm going to speed it all the way up. Look at this. It's coming back into the northern abyss, or is it going to plunge down? We don't care. We're going to trade from the long side here. Oh, please come down deep. Oh, it's getting filled. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Genius trade. Oh, tagging the top of that fact. So definitely a lot of people. Look how fast that was. So that was the one brilliant you got to have multiple bots. So the 15-minute bot, the 30-minute bot, the 1 hour bot, they grabbed this and they made a nice chunk. And if that's running on a separate account, your net worth goes up, right? So you may not be able to run this on your account that's running the other ones, because if it's going to take all profits, then what's the point? Right now you have to have a separate account just to run that scheme. And maybe they're going to be 2Ks in there. You know, why trade it? Just trade a 2K, you know. But the thing about the bot is it's going to put in a 2K for you. The effort is down on this one, the low effort bot. The whole point of a bot, right, is I don't want to do that. I'm going to speed it up. So we're at max speed now. It's cashing out, possibly on some stuff. Now, since it's re-racked, notice the drops are going with the same contour. So it's a trailing, it's a trend bot in that sense too. It may be a retrace bot, but it's a trend bot. So this thing does work. Like I said, the only problem is it's pure random. It's a contour, it's a template you're picking. It's a template. Now I'm speed it all the way up. Max speed now. Let's zoom out. Let's see where this is really going in the long run. I'm curious. Wow. See, now I would have never guessed that we could come back. Look at this. Look at this plunge. Now we're getting blown out a little bit. Look at that. Wow. Wowie zowie. I love it. It's probably getting hammered. No, it's supposedly making money. Wait for the retrace on this. Uh-oh, that looks like bad date. Oh, that could be the weekend. This is some rough waters here. But it's a limit entry only system. So now we are under the floor here once again. Look at this thing just tank like a whore. Big buy window. I would definitely leave this bot. Looks like he's, unless we come across some bad data, which there is bad data that kind of screws this thing up. Looks like we're getting stopped out of these. Our targets are disappearing. But, you know, if we were to take profits, I would have taken profits here. As soon as we came back to this, I would have got out. And this robot's not doing that, so I already see a problem. It's a trading assistant at this point. I don't trust this thing to do anything by itself. And this thing can barely, you know, like it should have dumped everything right here. You see what I'm saying? Now it's reloading the wagon. Hopefully it got out of something. So I try to build scalps into it. See, it's blowing these tickets out now. It's getting destroyed. It hasn't showed up on the chart. But it just keeps re-racking. I like the blind ambition. I call this the blind ambition bot. Forget the blessing. This is the fucking I'm all in. This is the fucking the Fetterman bot. Total retard trading. Dysfunctional. The dysfunction bot. It's the chaos embracer. But look how it's getting killed here. hasn't shown up on the equity curve. I can't believe. Look at the destruction here. So a bot that's going to buy RSI overbought in a downtrend of this is the 15-minute chart. So if you put a 50 period moving average on here and you let that thing keep building a position, you can see how the RSI bot's going to make money until the market goes the other way. So this thing started off very nicely here during this ranging. Now this is a big landslide. We are another chunk down. I don't know, this is a lot of pips here. So another smash down. Now hopefully we've still retained. Looks like we missed the sweet spot on that. See, we didn't buy enough down here. And if you had a deep bot running in the background, a super deep bot that just put in a wider range but less tickets, once all these assistants, they're all right? Everybody people that can afford a beat down like that, those people, and the short-term guys, like look at this beat down retrace. All those people that are going to afford that, all the way back to here. If all those bots are running, and this is only like 3 days of price behavior on the 15. If you cash them all out, let all the pullbacks that happen on the way to this, which is what your dream is, if you're a retracement trader, swing trader, that you'll make money even on the way there with your little scalping trend bot, because you're suspecting or imagining in some way that this is going to be a trend. It may be a flash move, but you're expecting a trend back to here. In your conservative mind, a gentle move to here. In your greedy mind, you're imagining a blowout of this fractal. But we just filled this vacuum, now we pulled back. So we made some money there. It doesn't seem to acknowledge the losses too much, but I guess we held out. Maybe those are expiring. I wasn't paying attention. I can't tell if they're expiring when those things are disappearing, because they only last for 12 hours, this rack. So hopefully we got some more on the pullback there, another retention. Now we take this out, the sellers are going to be all the way to here, then we figure it's going to pull back. Now we turn on the buy bot that's going to get in on shallow 15s. So you got to stay on this. You're managing bots. I can't imagine a one bot that could do it all. I would definitely dump everything above that. I would have been out. Hell yeah, we would have got out up here, so I got up on that top tick Tommy. I'm not going to run the sell bot. Oh, the 15-minute bot's getting filled now in these little baby pullbacks. Now, if we can get another smackdown, we'll even gobble up more money, which would be absolutely beautiful, because we can just keep banking it and then just turn that bot off. We know that bot's going to get his ass kicked. If we see that there's an abyss coming, we better put on a deep bot, the deep abyss bot, because there's no way it's going to pay. You won't survive it. Let's look at moderate pullbacks here now. Max speed. Max speed 32. Okay, so unfortunately, so what I should do is restart the bot on the 1 hour chart. Or here, we'll just go to restart the bot without so much detail in the data. So we know what happened there. I'm using the default template, which is just hideous, but I just am too lazy. There, I said it. I'm lazy. 15-minute chart. Let's see what damage we can do here. Oh shit, now it's too fast. Please hold. Let me start that over again. Kind of wanted to see it a little bit at a normal speed. Okay. Whoa. Geronimo. Let me zoom out. Holy shit. So look, it did come back to that, blew out that floor. Now look at the drama here. So this is what is the problem sometimes. It's just so much drama. Here, I'll speed it up. All right, I like this speed. One notch below the last speed. Take a look at the equity there. I'll zoom in on the situation. So you can see all these little traps like this, but you know, this is like hand play stuff. You're looking for this bottom tick Bobby before it rips up. This is very fast money on the 15. Put the candles on. MetaTrader candles. Big smackdown into my limits now. Big ass expirations. Just gobble up all those limits. It's stopped out there. Stopped out. Big hit. Big equity hit there. Let me zoom out. Okay, we can just barely see the candle now. Now I'm going to go hyper mode. Look with the equity here. So in a given year, in a given time, the random bot, like a stop clock, gets it right sometimes. I don't know what the ATRs are. So the other dream is to tie the ATR to it so that it drops scripts appropriate for the amount of ATR, so the depth keeps changing. I started with 55,000 because I thought it ran out of money. So just look at the equity curve, not the dollar amount. I know it starts with 10 grand typically, but I thought there wasn't enough money in the account, so I just typed in a random number. It's like $500,000. This is pissing me off so bad. $500,000 trade in 1Ks, you know, it's kind of hard to blow it up. Wow, look at that. So that we missed out on the sell bot should have been, you know, I'm such a contrarian. I think I'd rather sell bot now. But now this might start making money because it's in the sweet spot of the pullback depth. You know, it's depth of pullback in this, you know, holding the market. See there, it just got annihilated. Just got annihilated there. It's 24K too. It's quite a fat ticket getting filled down there. Looks like a roller coaster ride. Yeah, it's a true roller coaster. So I can see the flaw already. Robot needs to have deeper tickets. You know, it's too aggressive. You could only turn this robot on during phases like this last plunge here. Now, I would have made money there, but and you just can't have one contour. It's just not going to work. Even though logically it should work because you know the market's going to pull back, so you think, okay, it's going to pull back. This is how much it should pull back. Like there looks like a sweet fill, but a little overfill, too close to the market. I think it's buying 20 pips deep. If it's the robot, I think it is 20 to 90 pips deep for 12-hour expirations. Let me skip to the end. Too curious now to see if it blows itself up. I thought I had to skip to. Guess we can't do it. Oh, I guess it skips to the end visually. Yeah, we didn't really make any money there. So here's probably news or something, and you would want to have the sell bot turned on at that point. I do have a symmetrical bot. I always come back to these things I wrote because that's all I wrote. They're like little, they're just little templates. So here's a soft stop, harmonic retrace. I think this is symmetrical. These orders last all day. They drop every 240 minutes. I'm going to go to the 1 hour chart here. So it's not so mind-boggling. Turn down the speed. Start this, because the 1 hour chart makes sense for a bot that's going to drop every, let's see. Oh God, I guess one here that's going to be appropriate for a big long swing scenario where we're going to last all day. Pretty deep, 120 pips deep with 140 pips stop. Every 4 hours they drop. They last all day. I think it's martingale, so the tickets get bigger. And this is going to be the other where we can. This will have a complete cherry pick situation where it's going to work. Let's review where we should use it. And this is a symmetrical bot. There's no bias on this one. Oh, maybe there's some bad code in here because it looks like it laid the tickets out a little staggered wrong. Something's off. Don't worry about it. Something's off there. I noticed that the arrows aren't coming in properly, so something is off. But don't you mind that. Your money's safe with us. Yeah, we had some guy from Mensa put this thing together. Are you kidding me? What, you think we just have anybody do this shit? So the problem here is you can see that it's not making. There's probably one bot that makes more money one direction. But anyways, that's the theory. 1 hour chart. Let's zoom out. Let's take a big picture view of that. So this is nothing but throwing tickets in there that last all day, every 4 hours. It's look how noisy the market is. Is the market really going anywhere? Is there a trend? That's the 1 hour chart. Played back at high speed. Do you think it's going up or down? Looks like it's going to go up. It's breaking out to the upside now. Into the sell side tickets. Oh, just pulled back. Boy, that's not even fast enough. Play back for me. Let's go to the 15. 15 was fast. We could fill up the screen faster. They last all day. So you're looking for a catastrophic rally or tank, plummet or a go up. It does better on the 15. Look at that, it's making money. It's getting more trades off. So we're like 55. We're gonna start back at 10,000 on this one. See how it martingaled into the other side. Let's put a like a realistic balance in here. How much money was it going to take? I want to see if I can trade it with the least amount of money. $1,000. I wonder if we blow it up with $2,000. This is the other ultimate test for your robots. Are you going to blow this up with $2,000? Oh boy, probably here. Let's see if we even get a chance to watch it trade. Because I'm wondering about the drawdown. I can't imagine the what it looks like on the thing here. So let's see the real world stats on this. I think it's buying an 8K at the bottom. It's not symmetrical. We got to open up the code and take a little. We got to dial it in a little bit more better if we're going to run real money on this. It's a creeper speed. What happened here? I thought I sped it up. I guess it already blew up the account. I don't know. Isn't that weird? With more money, it run faster, didn't it? I didn't change anything else. That's strange. Okay, so maybe it's trading too careful. Maybe you can't put a trade on. There's not enough margin available. I think that's the problem here. Okay, so let's put $5,000 in there. Is that going to be enough to trade? You always wonder, what's the max? It looks like it's able to trade with $5,000. Unless it already blew itself up. We're trying to make money from very little money here. This is the contest. Is you take $5,000, you turn it into $1 million. The dream machine doesn't seem to be doing very well. Oh, geez, we had some money there for a little bit. We were up $1,200 at one point. I just got hammered. Oof. $800. Yikes. Well, good thing we didn't put $10,000 in there. That's what I told your uncle. I said it's a good thing we didn't give him $10,000 to trade with that fucking idea he came up with. What kind of fucking harebrained motherfucker come up with that idea? Well, what you do is you just. How about the 5-minute chart? This thing will probably scream. Yeah, 1-minute chart. Let's see it. Take a look at that equity there. I like the 1-minute chart. It's got more dynamic range to it. $20,000 on the 1-minute chart. Look how far away it's placing those tickets. How about that? Way out there. It barely gets a fill. Brother can't get a break. No. Nobody loves you when you're down and out. Nobody loves you. Who loves you, man? Oh, look at that. That's probably a news event. We missed that. I like the 1-minute chart. Let's put a 15-minute spike bot on this thing. It's time to check out all this stuff. Play what if scenarios. Let's get close to the market. Here, the shallow bot. God knows what this is going to do. Grab your wallet. Okay, 1-minute chart. Start with $20,000. Looks like it's sell only mode here. Oh, what's going on here? This is crazy. I only wrote half the script properly, the sell side. I should turn off the buy side of that. That is just not symmetrical at all. If we get a fill down there, it'd be amazing, though. I guess it's a swing bot meets a scalp bot on the top end. That's a very specific kind of foot switch in your rack. It only does one thing, I know. It's taking up how much space on your pedal board? I know. It does that one thing really good, though. Ooh, it's getting clobbered here on the sell side as the market spikes up. The short bot with a touch of long to it. Let's see. Very bizarre. Oh, there you go. Now we can see it running. Yeah, I'd sell those rallies. Here it would have made a ton of money, see? Don't say anything bad about the stuff I wrote. Right here, this is the core places you would wish it would just be stacking. Now it's cashing out finally. It's picking up these ridiculous tickets, this kind of hybrid bot. Oof, got its ass kicked there. See now, here, if we could have loaded the wagon here, look at that 1 minute chart. Wow. It's making money now, coming back off the ceiling. Still need that swing bot wrapped around the scalp bot here. It's too much of one thought against the market. Better than the buy stop bot that keeps getting trapped on fake breakouts. We don't want that either. We don't want any of it. Okay, we're going to go for the fastest open prices. Open prices only on the 5 minute chart. On the 15, let's use a different bot. Short bot, NASDAQ. So I was writing NASDAQ bot, which is very difficult. My head exploded trying to do that. So I got brain damage trying to do that, so I stopped. I'm looking for something that's mid-grade aggressive that doesn't last too long. Okay, here's a classic. I know what this thing does. I think this is symmetrical. It looks like we just blew it up. Not enough money in the account, maybe. Tickets might be beyond 1K in there. So you can see how difficult this is. You'd have to actually make sure you knew what was going to happen, how your bot was going to behave with data. Wow, this is crazy. Open prices only on that. Talk about get her done. This looks like a buy only bot. Tickets last a long time. This half-hour chart playback. I don't see any data. Yeah, so we kind of tortured the account. Sort of blew it up there. Oh, what are you going to do? We just kind of treaded water with 10 grand there. We didn't really... there was some nice streaks here, so you can see there's times when... And it was martingaling in, so... It got a nice fat. Now if you run this on the British pound... Or the Canadian dollar... You might blow it up or you might make money. This is the other ingredient, is to switch instruments with the same idea. And I think it typically blows it up, even though I'm cheating with a tight spread on the... see, same stats. Nothing to see here, folks. I'll run the Bigfoot swing trade here. Looks like sell only mode. Actually, when I loaded this robot, the settings that you loaded this are recorded onto this robot. So I think I could turn this on so it buys and sells, or it buys only. Because MetaTrader remembers the last settings you used. But that's a crazy curve. These tickets last all day. 24-hour expirations. Seems like it should be making money, but it's not. No money management. It's just raw. It's a raw situation. Oh, it's Canadian dollar too. That's a problem. So you better luck with the tight liquid euro dollar. The good old euro dollar, we can count on this to be stable. Stable coin. International stable coin, I guess you call it. If you wanted to run it on another instrument, you would definitely have to widen the spread to be fair. The yen might work. That might work. There's a lot of people trading the dollar to the yen. Definitely need to have data. This looks like bad data here that went in my favor. Yeah, this has got to be. Look at the end of the world on this thing. I turn the buy side on. Buy and sell on the euro now. So I have buy and sell turned on. But if you don't get out here, I think it's going to blow the account out. If you right here, this streak, that's over. I guarantee you that's over. You're all the way back to 10 grand. So it's no different. This is the same. And this martingaled in hard here. And it cashed out. So here's the heavy load. You can see there was a lot of deep punishment as the market came into these ticket banks and the retracement paid off. Here's another deep load pullback. Hit on all tickets, stopped out of some on the original. The equity drawdown. The balance out, the blue line, is going to be your cash out point. So if you look at the this here, the market here, you know, if you don't cash out here, when your equity gets to this amount, you're nuts. Even on these runs here, which is what's missing from this robot, is somebody to step in and say, look, you made some money. We're really proud of you. You're a complete fucking idiot. You made some money. I love you. You made some money. So this, because you're going to lose here. You don't want to lose here. You don't want to lose on these. So when it's up, get the fuck out. Now, if it's still holding on the tickets here at this point, here's the refill. Buys. It keeps doing the same trade. And look at the fill. And the stop out. Balance is dropping. Equity's dropping. The account is down 3 grand. And here's the bottom floor of your equity, just like price, because the tickets are static. It's a static envelope against, well, at the moment, we don't know if it's buying or selling. But we do know that I think there's a soft stop on this, which means that's the only money management is we have a soft stop and a soft take profit, I think. You can kind of tell by the way it cashes out of here whether it gets out in this hard thing, like this hard, when you see these kind of jagged things, that means it's a hard stop and a hard take profit. So we come down here. There's not a lot of fill here, by the way. The market doesn't really move deep, but the market goes on some rant up or down. We don't know. We don't care. This means volatility is kicked up. But the problem, why is this robot not making money here? Because these swings aren't big enough. Actually, it's kind of making money there. This top becomes a bottom in your equity. This is the floor. And then when you fall down here, it's like, oh, it's good. Now, if time went on longer, we don't know. But here you're just trapped in treading water. The account's not doing too bad. You're still up from your original deposit of 10 grand here. You put 10 grand in, you took a $3,000 drawdown, and now you're up. Well, it seems like a good idea. Let's back test it on the Canadian dollar. Just for kicks, we'll do a fast. Since we have a robot that's kind of functional, he's a long-term bot. He's going to drop this Bigfoot swing. They last all day. They drop all every hour, and they buy a 90 to 22 and 90 pip with a soft stop. No um, hard stop and a soft take profit. HST means hard stop, and STP means soft take profit. It's my famous Bigfoot bot, Bigfoot swing bot. It's martingaling in. And buy and sell. Let's throw it on the Canadian dollar for kicks. See what kind of rambunctious numbers we can get. I just skipped to the end of that. It looks like it's going to get clobbered. See the fill, it's too hard. The Canadian dollar moves too hard, too fast. I mean, too brutally, you know. Overfill. Total overfill. The bot is too shallow, and something happened there. I don't know, with bad data. That's why all my bots are written on the euro dollar, because everything goes up and down. Just pick something that's got a tight spread. Everything goes up and down. Pick something with a tight spread. That's my answer to that problem. Okay, this will not be the same. Like, so now we're just gonna just turn on the buy side only and see what happens. 10 grand long only. Was it a good time to be a buyer in this segment of data on the half-hour chart? It shouldn't matter what time frame we run on here, but just to be safe, I'll run it on the half hour. So it's buy only mode. We'll skip to the end of the data. So it had a nice streak here. So here's where it loads the wagon. And here we got to get out. But it didn't make as much money as the other one. The other one made 14,000. Because it actually put itself in a winning hedge because it's filling on limits above and below. So that's the difference there. Even though this looks like a great performance moment, it's only because it was able to gobble up all these tickets and not really bottom out. So what you want to see if you're going to do this scheme is that you want to see, like, okay, it didn't quite overfill, but then wow, when it stepped up to the plate right here, nice fill, but it's actually cashing out on all these guys. So it bought here like a whore, reloaded even deeper. It's the ultimate accumulation situation. That's a long time period. It's not a lot of trades, actually. It's the idea. It's the concept I'm looking at. I'm not looking at this like, yeah, who would wait this long this trade? This is 2017 to today. 5 years of dating, and you only made how much? Shit, I could make way more money than that every week. Just trading the short-term insane stuff with 190K coming into a 4-hour plunge. Retraces, you're out. Okay, trade's over. Anyways, this is part 95 and a half of my unsolicited, chaotic mentorship.